through 15 weeks in the 2020 NFL season, the New York Giants are sitting at a 5-9 record, with a possibility of still making the playoffs. Now, I've said this on Twitter. I think the Giants are on the right direction, on the right path, and I'm very satisfied with what I've seen with this team so far. So I'm ready to look forward to next season. I'm ready to start thinking about what the Giants need to do in the 2021 offseason to really boost this team up and get them back playing on a competitive level and competing for a playoff run and eventually a Super Bowl run. So that being said, here are 4 moves that the Giants need to make in the 2021 offseason. Let's cue the intro. Quick little editor's note, if I could jump in here before the video starts. This is about the 4 moves the Giants need to make in the 2021 NFL season, disregarding who is going to be at GM. Now, I know some of these moves may vary based on who is the GM next year, but no matter if it's Dave Gettleman or if it's somebody else, these are the moves that the Giants need to make next season. So forget about Dave Gettleman, forget about who is going to be in charge. These need to happen regardless of who's at GM. So without further ado, start the video. Before I start this video, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. So let's get right into it. First, we're going to start off with our first move, and that is release these following players. Now, the Giants are projected about $20 million in the 2021 offseason, so we need to create some more cap space. Whether the Giants want to re-sign players or sign players, they have to create some more cap space if they wish to do that. $20 million won't cut it right now, especially with the salary cap lowering down to about $175 million. That's what people are saying, so we have to find a way to create more cap space. The Giants need to release these following players: Golden Tate, Kevin Zeitler, and Nate Solder. Now, releasing all 3 of these players are going to clear up about another $20 million or so and get the Giants to a projected amount of $40 million. So with that being said, you could release other players as well, but these are the 3 names you absolutely have to release if you wish to re-sign or sign some more players in there and just help the cap situation as a whole for the New York Giants and help the progression of this roster. So, you look at Golden Tate. Golden Tate is in no way a part of the future of the New York Giants, and let's just admit that contract wasn't very great for Golden Tate. Signing him and being over the age of 30, he's not part of the future plans. We have to let him go and try to bring in some recycle some wide receiver talent. Let's bring in some younger talent and more consistent talent and playmaking talent. And then we move on to Kevin Zeitler. Kevin Zeitler is nothing personal whatsoever. I thought Kevin Zeitler is obviously our most consistent, probably our best offensive lineman that we have on this roster, but I think we save about $12.5 to $13 million if we let him go next season. We have to try to do that and try to have Will Hernandez and Shane Lemieux both playing and getting reps and starting right next to each other to help free up that cap space. And then Nate Solder, obviously we have our 2 tackles in Andrew Thomas and Matt Parrott, or if we Cam Fleming is still part of the plan, so we don't need Nate Solder whatsoever. We don't need that contract either. If we keep him around, he's probably making about $17-18 million next year. But if we cut him, I think we only save about $3.5-4 million, but we do need to cut him. We don't want to have a $17-18 million guy on our roster if we don't really need him. So we need to cut those 3 guys. Now, you can cut other guys like Cody Core, I'm hearing thrown around, Levine Toilolo, David Mayo. I'm hearing a lot of different other names that we can cut in the 2021 offseason to help build up that cap space, and the Giants could very well do that, but it's kind of flip or flop. You choose who you want to let go at that point, but these 3 names have to go in 2021. Our next move that the Giants need to make kind of feeds off of the first one when it comes to clearing cap space. The Giants need to resign either Dalvin Tomlinson or Leonard Williams. You cannot let both of these guys go. Dalvin Tomlinson and Leonard Williams have been a huge part of this Giants defense success, and it's obviously our best unit on the entire team. That interior defensive line is feared by other opposing teams, and it's probably the only thing that's being feared, right? The most. Leonard Williams has been doing a fantastic job so far this year. I believe he's at like 8.5 sacks. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's at 8.5 sacks, and he's looking at a $20 million contract. That's what he wants to get paid. Dalvin Tomlinson, superior run stuffer, extremely good nose tackle. It's very hard to find those in the NFL nowadays. He's probably going to be looking at a $13 million contract, and if he takes a smaller discount because he takes a discount to stay with us, as he said that he would, we're looking at probably $9 to $10 million. So we'll see how that flies. And this is the average yearly basis. So there's pros and cons to signing either or. When it comes to Leonard Williams, if you keep Leonard Williams, you'll have a pass rusher, right? You'll have a guy on the team, and he's obviously probably going to have the biggest impact out of Dalvin and Leonard Williams because he's the pass rusher, right? He's the guy that gets the sacks. He's the guy that makes the plays and shows up on the stat sheet and could be a drive killer, right? But he's going to be very expensive. But if you let him go, the Giants are at a lack of pass rusher in general. Edge rusher, pass rusher, it doesn't even matter. The Giants are in a lack of that because, if we let Leonard Williams go, we're looking at possibly, we don't even know Kyler Fackrell is coming back. We're looking at possibly Lorenzo Carter and O'Shane Jimenez being our best guys at pass rusher. And we don't want to be back at that kind of road. We started last season with Marcus Golden and Kyler Fackrell, helping out there. But Lorenzo Carter and O'Shane Jimenez by themselves will not get it done, especially with both of those guys coming off of season-ending injuries. The Giants need to find a way to keep a pass rusher, but we'll mention that in the last move. But the Giants need to find a way to keep both of these guys on here. Moving on to Dalvin Tomlinson. If you keep Dalvin Tomlinson, you basically fortify that run defense with Dexter Lawrence and Dalvin Tomlinson. This would be a really good duo there. And if you do let him go, here's a pro here. If you do let him go, if you do let Dalvin Tomlinson go, you can just put Dexter Lawrence on the nose tackle, which is more so his strong suit, nose tackle, and then you could put BJ Hill or RJ McIntosh, have them compete for that 3-tech defensive tackle spot that Dexter Lawrence was playing, and then you kind of just plug and play your players. So we have the depth to replace Dalvin Tomlinson. It just depends if the Giants want to pay a cheaper guy than pay Leonard Williams 17, 18, maybe even $20 million. So that's what the Giants need to do. They cannot let both of these guys go. They need to at least keep one of these guys. If they keep both, I don't know how on earth they're going to keep both, but they need to keep at least one of these guys. All right, we're moving on to our third move, and the Giants, in their third move, they need to have a focus point, a focal point on the wide receiver position in the 2021 offseason. I cannot stress this enough. You cannot start this season with the same wide receivers you ended 2020 with. This wide receiving core is abysmal. It's bad. It needs to change. It needs a whole rebuilding process. Dave Gettleman, one thing I do have against Dave Gettleman, he has neglected the wide receiver position ever since he's been here. He's only drafted, I believe, one wide receiver, and that guy was Darius Slayton with a 5th-round pick. Granted, Darius Slayton was a good pick. I'm sure he's done a lot better than even Dave Gettleman thought he would do. But we need to address this wide receiver position. We did not draft one last year, and we need to find a way to get a wide receiver in here, whether that be free agency or the draft. Now, there's plenty of avenues that the Giants can take in getting a wide receiver. You can start in free agency if you want to with the higher tier, higher salary, cap hitting wide receivers. You talk about your guys like Allen Robinson. You talk about your guys like Kenny Golladay and Will Fuller. These are guys, are playmakers, explosive guys that have proved themselves in the NFL and have been playmakers for their respective teams, but they are going to demand a higher contract. Allen Robinson, let's start off with him. This guy is a true number one receiver. Has the height, has the speed, has the route running ability, has the catching ability. He's everything you want. He's played with terrible quarterbacks in his past. I'm pretty sure Daniel Jones will not be the worst of them, and he has still succeeded with guys like Blake Bortles for a very long time, and he's dealt with Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles and guys like that, and Chase Daniel. Okay, so he's dealt with some bad quarterbacks. He's never had really a good quarterback. We'll see how Daniel Jones would fare with him, but his catch radius is absolutely insane. This guy will catch almost everything. Kenny Golladay is a big play guy. He has a knack for the end zone. We need a guy that has a knack for the end zone. And Will Fuller, who's a speedy slot guy that kind of fits this offense pretty well. And then you have the intermediate guy, the intermediate avenue that Giants could take in free agency, signing guys like Sammy Watkins, Corey Davis, and Willie Snead. Corey Davis, out of everybody, is probably my favorite because he's probably the most bang for your buck guy. He's probably not going to demand a huge contract, yet he will probably, give you some production next year. So I like Corey Davis. He's probably my guy I would bring in, but you could pick who you want there. Then you look into the draft. In the draft, you have a couple of different options you can go here. And, you can obviously start in the second round or third round if you wanted to. But if the Giants want to get ballsy and they say, hey, we want a weapon for Daniel Jones, for him to build a chemistry with for years on end, you can go in the draft and go in the first round and draft one of the two Alabama wide receivers, Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith seems like an absolute match made in heaven for this Giants team. And also Jamar Chase, who is absolute beast as well. So, like I said, there are plenty of different options the Giants can take when it comes to the wide receiver position. All I know is that they better not enter this 2021 offseason not addressing the position well enough. All right, I don't want to get undrafted guys in here and, oh, this guy's an undrafted sleeper and, oh, this guy has been on 5 different practice squads. No, I don't want that. I don't want your Dante Pettises, right? I don't want any of those guys. I want a guy that has been consistent throughout whether his collegiate career or his NFL career to come in here and establish themselves as a number 1 receiver. And our last move the Giants need to make in this 2021 offseason that is very crucial is finding their pass rusher. There is a possibility that we do let go of Leonard Williams in this offseason if he demands a big enough contract that the Giants say, you know what, we can't do it. Then we are at a lack of pass rusher on the team. Lorenzo Carter will be coming in as our best guy if we don't bring in a guy like Kyler Fackrell. And even if we do bring back Kyler Fackrell, it still won't be a good look, okay? We need a pass rusher on this team. Now, you can go in different directions, but it's not as many as the wide receivers, right? In the draft, let's start off with the draft. In the draft, you might be lucky to get 3 pass rushers in this year's draft, okay? It's not very heavy in pass rushers, and on top of that, these guys aren't really super top tier talent. The best one being Gregory Rousseau. You can probably get some luck with him. I don't know if the Giants really want to take that avenue there, but free agency is a little better. Now, in free agency, you have some top tier names like Shaquille Barrett. This guy is well establishing himself as a top tier pass rusher and also fits in that 3-4 very, very nicely. Hassan Riddick, who put on a show against the New York Giants, having 5 sacks against the New York Giants, and seems to be doing very well in that full-time pass rusher role, and he's a guy that fits very well in a Patrick Graham defense when it comes to linebacker play, because this guy can be used as a stand-up linebacker and play that inside role, or he can be used as a pass rusher. It really depends on what you want to use him for, but Hassan Riddick can do it. And then you also got Bud Dupree. Now, Bud Dupree did get hurt towards ACL. He'll probably be back at the end of next season, but we may get a good contract with Bud Dupree if we decide to go his route, and the payoff may be very well. And also, there is a name here that we all brung up last season, and there was a lot of controversy, and that's Yannick Ngakoue. All right, I'm sorry that I keep mentioning this name. I know a lot of Giants fans are tired of it, but it's fair. He's a free agent next year. He wants a contract. And nobody wanted him coming out of Jacksonville, so I don't know what the contract he's going to get this year is, but it may not be a lot. Who knows? Maybe the Giants take a chance on him. So, that being said, that is the pass rushers, that move. Here's a bonus, a 5th move that I'm very undecided on if I want to put that in this video. That's why I had top 4 things, not 5 things, because this one is not necessarily a move the Giants need to make, but is very crucial to their success next season, and that is figuring out the offensive coordinator position, right? We have Jason Garrett. I put a poll up on Twitter, and I asked you guys to decide, and right now it seems very overwhelmingly towards a fire Garrett type of choice right now, but we don't know. We have to figure out this offensive coordinator thing. Who's calling the plays? What offense are we using? Because I put up a poll on Twitter. You guys are probably looking at it right now. I said, are you guys willing to fire Jason Garrett knowing that Daniel Jones would have to learn his 3rd offense in 3 years? That's a big, big risk to take when it comes to potentially developing a franchise quarterback. We've seen Derek Carr get away with things like this, where he had like 5 different offensive schemes in the span of his career. So we've seen other quarterbacks do it, but we've seen other quarterbacks fail because of it. So we really want to put that stress on Daniel Jones. It may be worth it because Jason Garrett doesn't seem like he's going to get the job done. You could hire from within, Jerry Shaplinski, the quarterback's coach, or you can get tight ends coach Freddie Kitchens, who did a good job last week calling plays. There's different avenues you could take there, but I could also see why we should keep Jason Garrett. Like I said, you don't want to put Daniel Jones through another offense, and you never know. Maybe Jason Garrett just needed a little more time than needed in figuring out who how he's gonna work the personnel. So that being said, guys, that is the 4, if not 5 moves the Giants need to make in the 2021 offseason. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo!